So guys, this is going to be a great video, and I'm going to make such solid points in this video. And this video is inspired by something I have saw, a short clip of a video, and I'm about to make a full video into this because it made me even see something. And I'm going to explain this to a T. I seen a short clip of a video and it involved Andrew Tate. He wasn't the only one in this video. He was talking to multiple people. But he made such a good point, and I have to give him credit for this because it could not have been any more true. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding Andrew Tate's name, but he is so much smarter than anybody who does not really ride with him will ever know. And I mean this. And if you don't think this, you have not seen enough of him. He knows a lot of things. You don't accumulate the success he has by accident. You also don't go to the gym and get ripped by accident. Nothing happens by accident. Oh, oops, I'm ripped. No, you go to the gym. You do specific things. You train a specific way. You eat a specific way. Nothing happens by accident. He is very intelligent. He understands humans and everything to a T. Although there's controversies surrounding his name. But I would argue he jokes around a lot and people take things the wrong way. But anyways, let me get into this. So, whose fault is it? In this case scenario, what I'm about to explain. Whose fault is this? Let's say you're a guy. Let's say you're with a girl. Let's say one of your friends snaked you behind your back and got with your girl. Whose fault is this? And I'm about to answer this. And you guys are going to think I'm crazy for 2 seconds, but I'm about to explain why. The answer is this way. It is actually your fault. And you want to know why it's your fault? It is your fault simply because you are hanging around people that are like that. That is your own fault. If you are hanging around people like that, most likely you're that type of person as well. If you had true bros, it could be Megan fucking Fox, and there is a 0% chance that your bro goes after your girl and snakes you. So technically it is your fault for hanging around such snaky motherfuckers, bro. Your fault. Not the girl's. Not your friend's fault. Your fault. And that girl is also a snake. So really, it is your fault. And this is such a solid point. I would not even associate myself with people like that. That's the thing. So if you associate with people like that, that would do that, that would snake you behind your back, it is actually your fault. Whose fault is it? If you ran into a burning building and you died, your ass got lit on fire. You went in this burning building to try to be the hero, to try to save someone that was in that burning building, and you died. Whose fault is this? Is it the person's fault that you try to save because you were trying to be the hero? Is it the burning building's fault that it was somehow on fire? Nope. Your fault. You had a choice. You did not have to enter that building. That was untrustworthy of entering. Unsafe to enter. That was on you to go in that burning building. If you and a couple of your mates were out on a boat, you had no life jackets. Maybe 3 of you guys were out there. And you went sailing out to sea, and it was super windy, you had no life jackets. Let's say the boat capsized. The boat flipped. No life jackets. It's crazy outside. The weather's crazy. Say one of you guys can't swim. And 3 of you are out there. The boat flips. You guys start trying to swim back to shore. And 2 of you get back and 1 person drowns the guy that can't swim. And let's say, as you get back, you realize your friend is back there and he's not coming because he can't swim. Let's say one of you guys that can swim goes back out to try to be the hero to save the guy that is drowning, right? And the person that goes back out and the other person that stays on shore and goes and calls for help, as this is probably the scenario that should happen. Let's say all of a sudden the guy that swims out to try to be the hero does not come back and he drowns as well. Whose fault is this? It's the person that made the choice to go back out there to try to be the hero, to try to save the guy. And I'm not saying this is the wrong thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And if that's one of your good friends, you're going to do it. But it is still your fault. Just like in the situation where if you had a friend that snaked you and got with your girl, that is your fault. You don't get all mad at your friend and try to beat him up. You don't want to go crazy on the female that you were with. It is literally your fault. Because you were around snakes. And like I said, I would not even associate myself with people like that. They are not my close friend. They are not my friend. I would not consider them close. When you're around snakes, you're going to get bit. And that's the whole point of this video. And what's funny is, if you ever do get snaked by certain people, they will probably turn pretty scared and petrified of you. They will not come back around you ever again. Or they won't want to. If they do find themselves around you or something like this, they will not want to be around you because they are terrified of what could happen. Honestly, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've learned a lot in my life. I was not always perfect. I was around snakes once too. People I literally thought was my good friends group, a lot of them snakes, will snake you for a girl. And it's happened. And for something like that to happen is just unacceptable. They're not your friends. They're just not. And that's something you have to learn from. It's something I've learned from. And looking back, you realize it is actually your fault for associating yourself with people like that. If you didn't know they were like that and you find out, you still have to put some of the blame on yourself. And by learning from the situation, you learn and you move on. You know you are no longer friends with these people. If you want to be friends with certain people and they are snakes, that is your fault. And you know there's weird things going on about them. It is your fault. A lot of people in this world are out for themselves, to get themselves. I've hung around before with friends and their girl And I stay as far away from their girl as possible, to the point where I don't even make pretty much eye contact with them. I almost pretend they're not even there. That's out of respect. I'm not going to try to act more attractive than my friend, or try to look at his girl a certain way, or get her to look at me a certain way, or try to act cool or be cool so she'll turn attracted to me. No, you don't do that. You have respect. But a snake would do the opposite. You see what I'm saying? I would never associate myself with people like that ever again. I know the friends I have, they would not even come close to trying to do such a thing. Even if I had a girl and they tried to get on my friend behind my back, they wouldn't even do it. Those are the people I have. But a snake will always do it because they are in it for themselves. They don't care. A snake will bite. You can't go around a snake and expect it not to slither around and then bite. It will. So, I think the way I explained things so far in this video, I think a lot of you guys, if not every single one of you, would agree with what I'm saying. Bottom line, when you associate yourself with people like that, it is your fault. If you go into a house full of gangsters, full of drug lord people who have millions of dollars of drugs in a house, let's say, and you are an unknown person and you walk in there and you end up getting shot, that is your fault. Decisions you make is more on you more than you think. A lot of decisions. And of course, things can go wrong. You could literally thought you had the most loyalist person ever around you, and something bad happened. It's hard to call that your fault, but at the same time, a part of it always is. Because if you make a decision to be in a position, a part of that is your fault. You made that choice. You trusted. And it's something you have to learn from. It is something you always have to learn from. And if you were to continue to go around a person like that, it's 100% your fault at that point. If you know you're around people who's, you don't really feel like you're a close friend to them, things will happen. They don't consider you a close friend. There might be similar things and hobbies you might both like, or something like this, which could make you get together or something like this for an activity or do something. But there might be a lot of things that are off, and if you know that and you're around people like that, it is your fault. I even know people myself today where they're a good enough person that I might do something here and there with them, but the trust is almost at zero. Like we could play a sport, we could do an activity together. Outside of that, we ain't boys like that, if that makes sense. There's a lot of things I would not trust those certain people on. And if you can't trust people a little bit, you can't trust them at all. You can trust them enough to play a sport with them. You can trust them enough to do such little things with them. You know what I mean? Other than that, no way. They're not a loyal bro like that. There's just those people out there that are like that. And then there's the people that are actually loyal. Where, like I said, I have those people too, that you could trust them with anything. You could do anything. Anything. And unfortunately, I had a lot of untrustworthy people in my life a long time ago. And it is actually crazy. And at the same time, with all those people, there were such fun times. You can have such fun times with people you can't trust. Trust me when I say that. You can. Sometimes they're the most funnest people ever, but you can't trust them. They would turn their back on you in a flick. They ain't your boy like that. Because they don't take you into consideration in that way. They don't take your feelings into consideration. They don't think about consequences. They don't think about how am I going to make this person feel if I were to do this to them. They don't even think that way. They're in it for themselves. They are snakes. So there's certain people you can trust and you can't. Some people just don't give an F about you at all. They would snake you in a heartbeat. And like I said, sometimes they're the most funnest people to hang out with. I don't know why it's this way. It just is. Facts. And a lot of those people, unfortunately, I had to cut off. It even got to a point where they started to not even be fun to hang out with anymore, and they just got completely lazy. So at that point, they have literally nothing. I think you're good. I think I'm good. I think in a situation where you know exactly what is going on, you're pretty much good. As long as you know you're aware to the truth of any situation you're in, you're good. You might not really get snaked because you can see things coming. But if you do, and you know you could, that is your fault, man. All the way around the board, it is your fault. If you were with a friend and you got your girl in the same place and you leave, and he gets with your girl, that is your fault. And you didn't trust him, that is your fault. Big time. That's just stupidity on your end. I know one of my friends that, I'll say this right quick before I end this video, but I know one of my friends that he was literally married. And he still is to this day to this woman. I don't know how he did not leave her. I'm pretty sure I told this on the channel once, actually. But they had a friend over that didn't even live in the same province in Canada, different province. But he came over. They all had drinks and stuff, sitting around bonfires outside in the nighttime and doing whatever and drinking, right? And it was time to close down. It was time to shut the night down. So they all went in the house, probably all chilling and stuff like that, drinking. And he decided, you know what? He told everybody, I'm going to go outside, I'm going to clean up, pick up some bottles, put out the fire, stuff like this. And he did it. And he came back in the house. Nobody was downstairs. He walked upstairs. And his wife was getting smashed by his friend. Can you fucking imagine? And he said he opened the door, he seen she was riding him. Which is crazy. Both of them naked. She's getting laid. His wife. By his friend. And I shit you not, this is 100% real. And he said he just closed the door and walked downstairs and sat on the couch. And he said his wife came downstairs minutes later, blaming him. You don't leave drunk people in the house together. Just going off. And you know what? A part of it is his fault. But in this case, you know, that is his wife. You're supposed to be able to trust your wife, so it's obviously her fault too. But there's a part of it that is his fault. And by some divine miracle, they're still together to this day. And he told me, I don't trust her. And he told me, ever since that happened, I don't feel the same way towards her at all. And he also told me he could see it ending at some point. But anyway, that's just another situation I thought I'd add in this video because it's just another one. But we're about to close this one down, and I think I made enough points in this video to get you guys to realize the truth behind all of this. It really is on you if you get around people who are snakes and something bad happens. It's on you. Little to nothing happens to me to this day because I don't get around snakes. I refuse to. So, you might want to think twice before doing some shit like that. You know.